Hello viewers, welcome to Jai's Kitchen. I hope you are all doing very happy and very healthy. Today I'm going to show you one of our Bengali typical sweet dish, which we call it Bibikhana Pitha. And this pitha means actually kind of like a cake, but pitha can be different shape and different texture. But this particular one is very famous in my country, in Bangladesh. And this is kind of like rice flour cake, but it's a little bit different than cake. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. And I actually chose the easiest way to do it, but trust me, this is one of the typical Bengali taste you're gonna get, and exactly like it's gonna be so yummy, and it's really good. And I'm gonna show you exactly like how I do it. And this Bibikhana Pitha is not very complicated, but at the same time you need a little bit of a different kind of ingredients. So just stay with me and enjoy this whole process of this Bibikhana Pitha or rice cake, rice flour cake. So at first, to make my Bibikhana Pitha or rice flour cake, I am gonna butter my cake tin. I took one round cake tin, and this butter actually our typical Indian or Bengali ghee. I prefer to use ghee for my Bibikhana Pitha, but you can go for butter. There is no problem if you use butter, but it need to be butter or ghee. You can't use oil or any kind of healthy option. So what I'm gonna do, I already melted my butter. It's actually typical ghee, as I said, and I'm gonna butter my tin very nicely. So for the sweetness, I already melted some date molasses or gur. In Bengali or in Indian language, we call it gur, which is date. It came from the date and is very healthy. You can find very easily in any kind of Indian or Bengali grocery or African grocery. But if you don't find it, as a substitute, you can use dark brown sugar or demerara sugar or cane sugar. That can be like the good substitute of this gur. But I'm gonna suggest you, if you want to copy my recipe or this if you want the typical Bengali taste, you're gonna find it very easily in any Bengali Indian grocery. You can go there and you can say date molasses or palm sugar. Palm sugar is the best substitute, I have to say, or demerara sugar, dark brown sugar. And I already took here 6 tablespoons, and I added a little bit of boiling water, and I actually make them like a very thick liquid. That's how I'm gonna use it, because otherwise it's gonna be a little bit difficult to mix every ingredients. And I took here 6 egg yolks. I'm not going to use any white part, because white part can be make your cake really dry. Your pitha can be really dry for the white part. So I only took 6 egg yolks, and I'm going to beat it a little bit. In this egg yolk, I'm gonna add now my extra melted butter. So that here I have around like 3 tablespoons of melted ghee or melted butter. This is very important. You have to add some ghee or butter in your cake mixture, because otherwise you're not gonna get the proper typical Bengali rich flavor. I'm adding here ghee, obviously, as I said, but you can go for melted butter. And I'm adding, for this size of cake, I'm adding around 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna mix it a little bit more now. For extra richness, I'm gonna add here 1 can of condensed milk. In my country, we use actually really thick milk. We do it by our hand when we put the milk in the hob, and we take like long time to make this thick milk. Or we call it in Bengali kirsha. But instead of kirsha, I'm just choosing the easiest option, which is 1 can of condensed milk, like normal tea condensed milk, and that's gonna give the extra sweetness and extra richness, and that's gonna give like really creamy texture in my final cake. And now I'm gonna mix it. This cake, you don't need electric whisker. You can just do it by your hand, because it's not actually the cake texture. It's a little bit different than cake texture, so it's fine if you do it by your hand. And now I'm gonna add my date molasses or gur, or the sweet, the dark brown sugar, Asian dark brown sugar, whatever you call it. I'm gonna add it now. And I'm adding here around actually 2 cups, because this cake need to be really sweet. It's not like really like lightly sweetened. But it's a good sweet, because if you add this kind of date sugar or palm sugar, that can be like natural sugar, so it's not very bad for your health, and once in a while is really good. Oh, look at the color. When I'm mixing it, the texture, the color is coming from it. So here around 2 cups of date molasses I'm using, but you can taste. If you think you need more sweet, you can add more. If you think no, you need less sweet, add less. So it's up to you. So my wet mixture is nearly done now, and now I'm gonna actually show you the dry mixture. So I already added all my dry mixture in one bowl, and I'm gonna show you what I done. I took here 2 cup of rice flour, just normal regular rice flour. You can find, if you're living abroad, you can find very easily in any super shop like Asian grocery or African grocery or any kind of grocery nowadays. You're gonna find this rice flour, and I'm using TRS, you can go for any brand, and I added here like around 2 cup, little bit less than 2 cup, like around 1.5 cup I added. Then I took half cup of plain flour. This is not self-rising flour, just regular plain flour, and that's gonna give a little bit of binding, it's gonna help a little bit to bind my cake. So half cup of it, so mixture of like half cup of rice flour, plain flour. And then I added 1 cup of this dry coconut. If you have the good option, if you have the really like raw wet coconut, you can go for it, but I prefer to add, because I live abroad and I want to make it like really super easy. And this is organic obviously, and you can find very easily anywhere. Any kind of dry coconut you can use, any brand, but I'm using this particular one, but it's up to you. And I added 1 cup of it, so coconut, shredded coconut. And then I added half cup of, or maybe 4 tablespoons of milk, powdered milk. This is actually dried skimmed milk. You can use full fat milk, there is no problem. I don't have full fat milk in my house, that's why I'm adding this one. But any kind of powdered milk, that's gonna give more extra richness. And pinch of salt. Salt is optional, you can skip this part, but I add a little bit of salt in my very sweet dish, it balance. So then I actually mix all the dry ingredients together, and here I have around like 4 cup of dry ingredients. So it depends, when you're gonna make your own cake or your own pita, you're gonna understand how much. Don't add all of them together, just add gradually, then you know that how much you want. So my dry mixture amount was actually okay, so I didn't had any leftover, so I added all of them here, and now I'm just gonna mix it by hand. That's it. It's not like cake that I have to whisk it quite a long time. It's just I'm gonna mix, as long as they are mixed up properly. You can see the texture, and I'm gonna show you the texture more. Oh, the smell is coming, the coconut, the condensed milk, the molasses, the powdered milk is perfect. So I just wanted to show you the texture we are looking for. Don't make your cake batter or pita batter too thin. It gonna be little bit like thick. You can see how heavy is this, and don't be afraid. This is gonna be a little bit heavy because this is not typical cake. This is actually pita, and this is the Bengali texture we are looking for. So did you see how thick is this? We need this thickness, and in that case you're gonna get exactly the proper Bengali pita texture, and not the rubbish one, obviously the yummiest one, because there's lots of people make pita and that's gonna be like, I tried a lot, sorry to say, but they were like very dry, there was no taste, it was just mixture of flour and coconut, and it was not really good. But if you follow my recipe, trust me, you're gonna get exactly the village taste, and at the same time like with good richness, and very easy, simple way I showed you. So now I'm gonna put it in the cake tin. It's ready, it's mixed up. I already put my pita or cake mixture in my cake tin, and now it's ready to go in the oven. I'm gonna bake my pita for 1 hour in 120 degree. If your oven depends on which oven. My oven is really hot, so 120 degrees enough for this pita, and it's gonna take 1 hour. Don't burn your pita, because this is, don't forget, I used date molasses, so date molasses can burn very quickly, and coconut as well. So it need to be really moderate heat and bit long time. So 1 hour or 1 hour, maybe 5-6 minutes more, and temperature gonna be 120 to 130 degree. There is another way you can make your pita, which is steaming. You can steam your pita as well. Even though in typical Bangladesh, we make it like in a charcoal oven, but we don't have charcoal oven here. So we use like normal oven, but you can steam it as well. So use this kind of strainer or steamer, and then put in a large pan, add some boiling water, and steam it for like 40 minutes or 1 hour. That can be another way, but if you don't have these things, I will prefer the oven bake one, because that can be like the proper typical taste you're gonna get. So So after 35 minutes of baking, I just wanted to show you how nice it came out. So still it's not done. I'm gonna cook it another 10-15 minutes more. So I just wanted to show you, look at the texture. Oh my god, it's like it's gonna be really dark on the top, because that's the texture in Bangladesh we are looking for, like very charcoaly dark color on top, and at the same time it's really rich and soft inside. So for that we have to bake it maybe for 15 minutes more, but it's just half way I just showed you how I done it. So I'm gonna put it in the oven more for 15 minutes. So here you go guys, after 15 minutes of more baking, that's how my pitha came out, or my cake came out, and you can see the dark color on top, and look at the inside, it's just the typical Bengali village texture in the middle. And trust me, when you're gonna bite it, trust me, the richness, the sweetness, the flavor you're gonna get from it, the ghee, the butter, the coconut, the condensed milk, the molasses, it's just all together, it's gonna give you the heavenly taste. And I hope you're gonna like this recipe, and you're gonna make it if you want to really like miss your Bengali pitha, and you are looking for the good recipe. This is one of the best recipe I can bet you. And don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and follow my recipes, and share my recipes with your friends, family and neighbors. And yes, just make this cake and enjoy with your whole family, and just show your children that you have in Bangladesh a good kind of cake. And if you are like a foreigner, or you are other countries people, I'm gonna ask you to make this cake, and you're gonna taste it like typical Bengali cake, how good it is. So yeah, live healthy and think positive and be happy. Bye bye, take care, tada.